Again, scene 6 should be pretty dialed in because we made our look based on this environment. And there's a lot of close-ups, which are nice for matching and stuff. There's only a couple of wider shots. So we just need to make sure, especially that these wide shots really match our hero shots here. And I think they look pretty darn good. That looks great. I mean, it's a little different, just slightly, but nobody's ever going to care. So does this look good by itself? I feel like the shadows are maybe a little dark, but it's not bad. I think let's boost the shadows just a touch. Just a touch. Let's make a new node. We'll call this look adjustment. Boost the lift up just a little bit. Here's before and here's after. Keeps that contrast, but it just adds a little bit into those shadows. Okay. We also want to make sure that this wide shot is going to match with these other shots. This looks nice. Let's add a little bit of light to him. Alt S. And we'll call this guy. We'll add just a little bit of light to him. Take this down. Zoom in here. We probably won't be able to get that green, but we can at least make him a little brighter. Again, we'll do that in the curves. Just pushing that mid-tone up a little bit. We might be able to push some green. Let's try it. Add a little bit of green to the gamma. I don't think that's offensive, and it definitely lends it a little bit more towards that green. That works. Let's go with that. Okay. Any other wide shots? This 78. Let's do the same thing. Let's copy that from 72, but we'll move our guy light over there. And any other wide shots? Doesn't look like it. Okay, great. Make sure we like these. I feel like we do. The only other thing is I think I might add a little bit of light to her on this shot. Alt P. Call this girl. And we're going to do a similar thing. Just select her with this shot. Again, curves. Just boost her up just a little bit. Just show you a little bit of light there. Also might take down this white box here a little bit. I just feel like it's a little strong. Alt P, call this box. And let's just do a gradient here. Maybe start here and fade it out. Bring down the gain a touch, gamma a little bit. Just to darken down that side. Here's before, here's after. So there's the difference. Okay, those are the hardest parts, I would think. So shot 69, I feel like looks really nice. Does this match? I feel like maybe we could add a little bit of light to her face here on shot 70. A little bit of just kind of bounce light here. Again, with the curves. I like curves for things like this because it just gives you a lot of control over exactly what you want to brighten. Bring up these darker tones a little bit. Here's before, here's after. Say maybe it's just a little saturated, so I'll take it down a touch. There we go. Now we have the gun here. Maybe boost the gamma up just a little bit on this shot. Okay. Those are looking nice. All right, so now the question for these close-ups are, do they match with the wide shot? So let's go to 78 where we have a nice wide shot here. Zoom in from here to here. I'd say this one feels a little dark, a little bit blue. Could justify that because of the background, that's fine. But I think this is maybe a little dark. So let's boost the gamma just a touch. See if that helps. I feel like that works a little bit. This feels like it's just a little kind of bluish purple. So let's take that out in the gamma again. Just move this just slightly away from that bluish purple. Maybe just a little warmer. This is just so subtle. So here's before, here's after. Just adding a little bit of that kind of really subtle warmth. Feel like it still looks good. Okay. I think that matches pretty well. What do we like and not like here? We want to focus on her face. Let's see, let's call this look adjustment. We want to focus on her face here. So let's add a serial node. We'll call this face. And again, soft circle. And right here, let's give a little bit of sharpening here in the blur palette. Let's bring this down just a touch, just until you start to see it, about 0.47. Let's take it one more just in case. There, you can see the little difference there. Now we're just sharpening her. And let's darken his shoulder a little bit. Alt P. Let's just grab a gradient. Bring it this way. Bring the gamma down a little bit. Just taking it down a touch. I like this kind of light on the top of his arm and on the gun. I think that works well. Okay, so that's shot 77. Let's paste that onto all the other shots now that we like it. Any other shots like that? I think those are the ones. All right, shot 74, does that match? Let's take a look at the... He has this green light here, which you can't really see from this angle, so it's fine. But we want to make sure that this seems reasonable, that especially these two shots match, because they're the ones that are going to be playing behind each other. He kind of has this red tone in his jacket here. You don't see it as much here, but I think for the most part it looks pretty good. I'd say maybe we could do a little bit of contrast on him. So let's just say... just a little tiny S-curve, just to boost that contrast a little bit. We're going to do the same thing with his eyes. With his face, we'll do a soft circle here. And we'll sharpen it. So we should see this difference here. Yep, it's a little soft, a little bit crispier there. That works well. She looks really high contrast compared to him. I'd say let's give him a little bit more shadow. Let's Alt P, and we're going to kind of just add a little bit more to his shadows here. So again, let's kind of just select him softly, and we'll just kind of do a slash sort of like this, maybe, kind of across where the shadowy parts of him are. And we'll take our curves and just bring the midtones and bring stuff down in the curves. Boost this up a little bit. So we're just giving him a little more contrast here so that when we switch in between, he looks a little bit meaner, a little bit gruffer. Right here, he's like soft looking, right? Looks like, oh yeah, he couldn't hurt a fly. But then you give him a little bit harsher shadows and he looks meaner, which is definitely what we want because this is a bad dude. 76, let's copy that over. I think that's going to work fine. 79, same thing. And the rest of these have worked fine. 80 is when she falls down, so we're going to have to work on that. But 81 is probably about the same thing as 79. And maybe that's overdoing it with the shadows. We might not need to do that. Take that contrast off. I'd say maybe this whole thing can boost up a little bit. Yep, I think that works well. That looks nice. Again, we don't have to do a whole lot to this because the lighting is set well. One of the things that we did during production was the light that was coming in here was way too bright on the ceiling and this back wall. And so we just flagged the light because it's going to look better to do that than to add a window here in color and fix it that way. So if you can fix it on set, definitely a good idea. Have him pretty shadowy there. I think that works well for this kind of foreboding look. Normally we might think about brightening the eyes or something on a shot like this, but I think it works because he's supposed to be mean. All right, let's take a look at this shot and see how that matches with the wide shot. She has a lot of black behind her, gives a lot of contrast. We might just want to boost the gamma up a little bit just to bring a little bit back into the shadows. And again, does this match with our shot here? She's under different lighting here, so it's going to be a little different. But is it in the same world? 100%. Okay. Then the question is, does it look good in between these shots? I feel like it works fine. Let's copy that to 82. Love these blue tones here. That looks nice. Again, let's select her face. Let's add a little bit of sharpening. Okay, sharpen her face here. And again, everything looks pretty good. So we don't have to do a whole lot. This is like the kind of color job you like. So let's copy all of these shots. All of his shots are going to have the same grade. All of her shots are going to have the same grade. 93 is going to be the same as 89. 98 is going to be the same as 93. Now we have this shot, the insert shot of him kicking that. There's not a whole lot that's common in between these two shots. I think that works fine. Same for 95. That needs to match with this shot pretty well. Of course, it's going to be a little bit shadowier. Shadowier. It's going to be a little bit more shadowy because she's kind of facing away from the light. Let's grab this still so that we can compare it. We'll play this still. I'd say that looks all right. We're probably just a little dark on our shadows here. Boost the gamma up a touch. Yeah, something like that. Take this reference wipe out. That looks nice. Let's sharpen her face. Okay. And this shot is going to be the exact same shot as before. So 96 is going to be the exact same shot as 37, I believe. So that should match pretty well. I think it does. 97. It's her scared. Same thing. Boom. And he shoots, and then 99. This is the shot we were looking for. The last shot of the film. Does this match? Let's take a look. The ground looks good. Her skin tones look pretty good. She's on the floor. She should be a little bit darker. That makes sense. Now we got to do our lighting here. So let's Alt-S, and we'll add our blue light. Again, we'll add a big soft circle window, and we're going to take the gain towards cyan a little bit, gamma way towards cyan. So here's with the blue light, without. Adds a little bit more of that feeling. Maybe we'll boost the gamma just a little. Now we have that actually feeling like it's kind of lighting up things a little more. Corrector 3, down here in the keyframes, click on our automatic keyframing and go to our key output, and we'll wiggle it to set a keyframe for our gain. Then let's just move back a few frames to where this is all gone. Take this gain way down, move forward. There we go. So we're just animating that to be on when the flare is on and off when it's off. So now, boom. There we go. Okay. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And then the question is there anything we don't like here? I feel like this side is nice and dark. I feel like everything looks pretty good. I like it. I feel like the blood works. And again, we don't have to do a whole lot to our visual effects because we pre-color corrected everything. Because we worked under that LUT, which was a good approximation and everything. I don't feel like there's any major issues with anything. So that's pretty cool. So next lesson, we're going to look through our whole movie and see if there's anything else that we want to change with color.